Aries. Welcome to your May 2021 Astrological forecast. Before I begin, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel. Click on the little bell there. You'll be notified each time I upload something new. Check out my Ask Me a Question. It's in the description below. There's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And check out my weekly forecasts. So the month starts off with the sun still in Taurus up until like the 19th, but Mercury and Venus move into Gemini at the beginning of the month. Jupiter actually moves into Pisces for a little while in mid-month. And let's see here. We'll start with Taurus, okay? Where you have Taurus in your chart is your second house of how you earn your money. It's earned income, things that you own that are valuable, your values, personal values, your investments of any kind. It's also the house of hidden talents. But this is really pretty much money that you make from work that you do, okay, how you earn a living. Not necessarily the kind of work that you do, but the kind of money that you bring in, okay. With the sun here, obviously, your mind is in every time this year, okay? This is when your mind turns to a raise, bringing in more money, whatever. You know, you just had your birthday. Maybe that's what kind of gives you, lights a little fire under your rear end there. But this is a time when you are bringing in another source of income or getting a raise of some kind in whatever you currently do for a living. Even if you don't work at all or you're retired, there's still something that you do that brings in money. So it could even be like an investment. There were lots of nice planets here. Venus and Mercury were here, you know, so there should have been a lot of activity going on here towards the end of April, even at the beginning of April. But there's a new moon here on the 11th in Taurus. And I believe that this would be a new beginning for you as far as finances go. If you're not receiving a raise of some kind, you have something else coming in that is increasing your money, bringing more money in some way or other. It could be something that you've invested in that is starting to pay off. You may have sold or owned collectibles of some kind that are have risen in value, and maybe you're going to sell those, and whatever. You may have even purchased something though that's pretty valuable. All kinds of possibilities here, but it's just you're bringing in more money in some way or other. Let's see here. Well, okay, well, Mercury moves into Gemini on the 3rd, and Venus moves into Gemini on the 8th. So you do still have Venus in Taurus for a little while in your second house, okay? And Venus does attract things to you like money. So up until, like, let's say like the 7th, you have very strong possibilities of increasing your income in some way or other. But it could be, because Venus is involved, due to luxury items. Maybe you have, you own something that you're selling, jewelry or something like that, or you're on the receiving end of getting something nice, some kind of, like I said, piece of jewelry or something, a work of art or something, but it's something Venus related. So anyways, where you have Gemini in your chart, that was your 3rd house. So we'll have Venus and Mercury here. The sun moves here on the 20th, and Mercury will actually go retrograde in this area on the 29th. So up until this point, it's a very good idea for you to be extremely clear in all your communications. Okay, the 3rd house is the big communication house. Its natural ruler is Gemini and the planet Mercury. When Mercury is about ready to go retrograde, though, everything that you have said previously to that date kind of sometimes gets mixed up. Usually this happens while Mercury is retrograde, but a lot of times it's previous to this planet going retrograde, simply because people are trying to remember whatever was said instead of referring back to it, writing it down, reading it again, or something or other. But if you're having any kind of like really important negotiations, it's a good idea to be very explicit right now, because again, like I said, at the end of the month into next month, people will be going over it, reviewing it, and kind of like picking it apart or something. So, also, if you need to have a very important conversation with anyone right now, third house is your everyday life, more or less. It's the people in your neighborhood, your neighbors. It's where you would go throughout the normal course of the day. With Mercury here, you might be doing an awful lot of running around your area for like the entire month. And when Mercury turns retrograde here, you may have to retrace your steps or go back to places where you were at previously this month. But you could receive some kind of, well, you'll have like an increase in regular postal mail, okay? But you could receive something pretty important at this time. With Venus here, a lot of good news, I would have to say, is coming in for you. Even a lot of your discussions are very lighthearted or about things that are fun. Maybe you are making plans for something coming up. This is also the house of like short distance travel. And that kind of like includes the overnighters or weekend trips or something like that, but it's not too far away. So it could be something like that. Maybe you are making plans, maybe you're not going right this month, maybe you're making plans for next month. So if that's the case, again, like I said, you want to make sure that everything's totally laid out, because travel plans usually get kind of screwed up when Mercury turns retrograde. Here especially. This is also the house of siblings and your cousins. You might have a lot more contact with them right now than you normally do. Could be for fun things, though. I just see fun things, going on here. There is a full moon lunar eclipse, okay, in the sign of Sagittarius on the 26th, where you have Sagittarius in your chart as your 9th house. It's directly across from your 3rd house of Gemini. Around that time, something could happen, let's say in regards to travel plans or long distance communication. You could be contacted possibly by a relative about something that might be a little upsetting, or news that you were not expecting. Could be in regards to like a legal matter, just because the 9th house does govern legal matters. So it could be possibly anything, but just keep in mind around that full moon lunar eclipse on the 26th, that news coming to you, it'll all sort itself out more than likely when Mercury does turn retrograde. So whatever you hear at that time, just take it with a grain of salt, unless it's like really bad news that you're certain of. Okay, so the sun moves into Gemini on the 20th here, and it just makes you more active in your neighborhood. This is when you would have more contact, let's say, with the businesses in your area or your neighbors. This is also the house of writing, okay, writing and school, learning anything. Even if it's on your own, this is a big internet house. Okay, so you may be online a little bit more than usual. There's all kinds of possibilities here. For one thing, okay, the planet Saturn is in Aquarius. Where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 11th house. It turns retrograde on the 23rd. Okay, so you might not even feel it for a while. But your 11th house is your house of friends, acquaintances, any kind of organization that you belong to, but where you would normally go to hang out, okay? Having Saturn here along with Jupiter's also here right now, brings different kinds of people into your life, into your circle of friends. And there may be somebody there that's like a bit of a damper, puts, is not like fun to be around, okay? And something like dealing with them right now or your group of friends towards the end of the month. Might be a little bit, for you, a little bit more trouble than it's worth. It might be fun or might sound like it's fun, but you know, you may pass on some kind of get-togethers with your friends, or if you did have plans with them, something might be canceled, or but it looks to me like it's something in your immediate area, your neighborhood, or it could have been like an overnight trip or something that you were planning with your group of friends. Okay. Okay, Jupiter is making a very brief move to Pisces. It's only here from here till July. Okay, July 28th, I think. Anyways, then it does move into Pisces at the end of December into next year. So it's just making this little short stay here, and I am contemplating doing the video for this now. I was going to wait till December, or, you know, because it really isn't going to affect too many people, just those people born in the early degrees of Pisces. But I will mention it to you, okay? Just because it falls in your 12th house of secrets, confidences, behind-the-scenes occurrences by you or someone else. It's acting in secret or acting behind the scenes. Having you have Neptune here in Pisces, okay, it's transiting here for a while. Okay, these two planets together will bring you, in this house, will bring you some really neat, beautiful dreams. There'll be like, you know, something that maybe you haven't dreamed ever or haven't dreamed since you were a kid. Also, this usually denotes help behind the scenes. You could have somebody helping you with anything. You could actually, even though, be doing something in secret that you really don't want anyone to know about. Right now, it could be something very charitable. Okay, you could be helping someone who really needs help. It could be financially, but it could also be personally. You're doing things for them. You're helping them with something. Or you could be the one who is being helped. Okay, so there's all kinds of possibilities there. You have Mars is in Cancer in your 4th house. It's directly across from your 10th house of Capricorn, where you have Pluto transiting, and Pluto actually went retrograde at the end of April. So your 10th house, you know, is your career, your outer public persona, how people perceive you, how they speak about you publicly. It's your livelihood, though, more or less. Okay, Mars in your 4th house of your home, your family life, the people you live with. It's the actual physical place where you live and the property surrounding it. It's how you were raised, you know, it's your childhood. All kinds of fun things going on here. So we've got Mars in your 4th house making you very active in your home life. You know, your personal life is very important to you right now. So you may actually, with Pluto turning retrograde, okay, in your 10th house, somebody may come back to you even in your current line of work and make you review or go back to a job that you did previously, or it comes back up again, or you have to tweak it, or you have to rush in there and help somebody who was using whatever it was that you created, you know, something like that. Or if you were looking for an absolutely new job, totally, you know, it doesn't even matter how long ago you inquired about it. They could, you know, someone could contact you right now regarding a previous position that you applied for. Okay, or you could, things that were put in place in your line of work or the company you work for, or even if you're self-employed, that you put in place finally, you know, probably took like a really long time in your career to get things to where you wanted them to, and even then they're not perfect right now, okay, but they're close. And so everything that you did, sometimes people just come along, or circumstances come along, because this is also the house of like government institutions and stuff, and people in like big time authority. and whatever, you know. So they come around and they inspect you, or they audit you, or do whatever, you know. So this could be a time when something like that happens, that something comes along to undo all of your hard work. Okay, not all of it, but at least some of it. So it's something to keep an eye on. But having Mars in your fourth house, though, does make you very active within your home, wanting to make any kind of changes there. That physical changes, such as, you know, and this is like kind of like breaking down a wall to make more room. You know, this isn't just doing a paint job on something. These are kind of like big time changes. Or getting rid of somebody that lives with you, or you yourself moving, or just any kind of changes that will be better off for you, and more or less everyone, but better off for you, because you may have been putting up with something or other that, you know, you really, you just didn't sign on for. Okay. Oh, let's see what else here. That's pretty much it. Just that Mercury turns retrograde on the 29th, and I'll be covering that next month, because it's a little bit too late in the month for it to even kind of like really affect you. Okay, so the best days, the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Aries on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Libra. And those dates are the 22nd and 23rd. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for money is the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. The best time for your career is the 24th and 25th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 12th, 13th, 14th, 26th, and 27th. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for this month. Be sure to check out my weeklies, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.